We've got new coaches like Dusty May. Brad Underwood is Mr. Analytics guy. So you look at USC, they put up 51 points in the first half. Their defense wasn't great. They lost Jaden Wells there, obviously, for quite a minute there. UTA able to shoot 48%, but USC pressing its size advantage. Points in the paint has been the story of the first half, 24-8. Trojans with the advantage, and you know that Muss has got to like 12 assists on 18 field goals. And the biggest thing that he's got to like is the play of Wesley Yates, the freshman, 10 points off the bench with an assist and some pretty good defense as well. And we're just watching these Trojans kind of get comfortable with each other every possession, every rep, every game, trying to become a unit.
Abo with the miss there. Interesting that you drop Illinois in there in that conversation, because you talk about roster overhauls. We saw them win earlier tonight on Big Ten Network. USC is right in that same boat with 11 new players trying to start 3-0.
Yeah, and then on the flip side, you've got Matt Painter at Purdue didn't take a single transfer, even though he lost quite a bit, not just with Zach Edey, but Lance Jones, and then he lost Mason Gillis and Ethan Morton. So, different coaches have different philosophies. Eric Musselman spent quite a bit of time coaching in the CBA and in the G League. Those are places where you don't know what kind of roster you have game to game. And same thing with Brad Underwood, used to be a junior college coach as well. So some guys are comfortable with refurbishing their roster more frequently than others.
Deontay Smith just picked up his fourth, so he leaves early in this second half. He's scoreless, and he was someone they thought essential to their chances tonight. Williams got it. Terrence Williams.
Terrence Williams, we talked about at the top, did not play in USC's first two games because of back spasms. A fifth-year senior, played 4 years at the University of Michigan, so he's got real Big Ten experience, and he's a natural offensive player.
Nice cut from Seamster, who throws down.
St. Thomas got completely lost on the screen, didn't switch over.
I want to go back to the point you made about Musselman's background. So he's had immediate and sustained improvement and success at places like Nevada and Arkansas, but this, in the immediate present, might be more like his prior professional work.
Yeah, no question. I talked about, he was 24 years old and he was a general manager in the CBA. Of course, his dad, Bill Musselman, a longtime coach. He's coached in a couple different places in the NBA. And even when he first came back to college and he became a college head coach at Nevada, he was bringing in transfers before really it got really rampant in college basketball. So he's comfortable, but this is kind of an extreme situation when you take over a new job and you come in and you only have 2 returning players, and none of them were really significant.
Cohen using the shot fake. He'll have to earn it at the line.
Again, didn't get the bucket, but he got the foul. It's just as good, maybe even better.
I don't think they had much time for team bonding in the CBA, Seth. Like, they're probably not going to Venice Beach playing dodgeball.
Josh Cohen loves that left shoulder. Got Ellingsworth in the air. And just like that, he's got 3.
Those team bonding Final Four Fridays.
Yeah, pretty good.
Key to the quick start.
Well, as you know, we both live here in LA. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. But that's part of it, I talked to various coaches about that, and how do you build that chemistry? How do you build that familiarity? There's a lot of different ways to do it, but the fact is, though, JB, you can't microwave it. It just takes time, and you never know. Mick Cronin up the road's going through this at UCLA. He brought in 6 transfers, and he's never been one of those guys who has a lot of roster turnover. They made the Final Four in a couple Sweet 16 with Jaime Jaquez and Tiger Campbell coming back year after year. Not this season.
Cohen leading 4 Trojans in double figures with 13 points as Jackson Ellingsworth connects for 3.
Yeah, still in the game with 3 fouls. So let's see if they attack him at this end. So Clark could have scored that.
Abo missed the tee-up 3.
Claude had an easy look at a reverse layup and dished it.
Sweet pass by Wells in transition, and here come the Mavs. Cade Douglas pays it off.
Not a good job, ASC, locating shooters in transition. So worried about where Wells is.
Abo rising. This time he hits. Six points for Chibuzo Abo. Back to an 8-point lead. Burford out of the corner. Here's Wells. You see the immediate closeouts and hands in his face.
Nice job by Club getting around that stagger screen.
Douglas passes opposite. SC was in great position all the way to the final second of the shot clock, and they commit a shooting foul, and the bucket goes.
Josh Cohen got lost on the island out there. Not a good closeout. You see, when he leaves his feet on that closeout, you got to chop those puppies on the floor. Ellingsworth gets by him. I got a feeling that's going to be pointed out in the film. You know, they call it film. Everyone calls it film. There's no film anymore. I just want to get that out there. You ever see Cody? I got to watch the film.
Tablet
no film. What do you got, a projector? What are you doing calling it film?
I do appreciate that USC still does its scouting reports for shoot around on butcher paper, though.
That's right.
Markers.
Very old school.
When you saw KT Turner there, you mentioned Musselman's history in coaching. How about Turner as well, whose dad was a longtime coach, even coaching the Big Ten under Randy Ayers at Ohio State. In fact, his father passed away in Columbus. KT grew up around Dana Altman as a teenager. And speaking of UCLA, he said his father actually used to work out Mick Cronin in his playing days, and KT was his personal rebounder.
And didn't remember. He introduced himself to Mick, and Mick said, "You don't remember me?" I guess Mick wasn't quite so memorable as a player.
Douglas from deep. Splash.
That's the second one from him.
Now shooting their way back in it. He's in double figures with 10.
That's the second one from K. Douglas. Now Wesley Yates is coming into the game.
Quad circles all the way to the baseline and gets the bump. Early shades of their most recent game where they struggled to separate in the second half from Idaho State. Is USC in for another full 40 minutes tonight?
Hey, Dad. Brought you some popcorn. You should relax. You work so hard for us.
What happened?
It's a little fender bender, but Mom already filed a claim with our agent, and we can track the status right from the app. Auto owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense. Well played.
Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you. I'm fine, by the way.
Do what?
Is your car's plastic trim faded and milky? Don't worry. Cerakote's ceramic trim coat restores oxidized trim effortlessly. Just wipe it on. It's guaranteed for 200 washes. Even dust won't stick to it. Keep your car looking professional. Selling your oxidized, faded trim car? Detailed cars sell for way more than faded cars. Read the thousands of 5-star reviews for yourself. Buy any of Cerakote's #1 selling ceramic products for under $20 at these leading retailers today.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness? If you've ever experienced the warning signs of bad circulation, then you need Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way. Soothe pain and calm restless legs. Reduce swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, and stimulate healthy circulation. Stay active with Legzercise Pro.
Shinesty Hammock Underwear, the intersection of comfort, style, and support. With an ultra-soft luxury fabric, endless designs, and a built-in supportive pouch, these boxer briefs are the pinnacle of men's luxury underwear. And with over 55,000 5-star reviews, it seems that a lot of folks agree. Like this guy who said, "These are the underwear I've been waiting for all my life." Get your first pair for as little as $10. Just go to shinesty.com/TV. That's shinesty.com/TV.
UT Arlington back within a bucket of USC early moments second half. Tonight's State of Success is sponsored by State Farm.
Well, we've seen a lot of three-point makes tonight. I mean, you look at USC's offensive numbers, nothing to complain about, but I know Eric Musselman's not happy with his defense. UTA doing a nice job hanging into this thing. That free ball goes in. It certainly makes things a lot easier. Not shooting as many, though. Talking about only being on pace to shoot, you know, maybe 22, 21 three-point shots. In today's day and age, that's not a whole lot.
Get in the hands of Williams out of the stoppage. He muscles his way in, and there's another foul.
That's going to go against him.
Cade Douglas is second.
Yep. So once again, 14 fouls. for the Mavericks, only 1 for USC. That's going to be something to watch if this thing stays close.
Claude exploring off the bounce. And a free throw to follow.
Nice take there by Desmond Claude. And that's going to be on Douglas again, I think. So right now he's got 3. Nice job by Desmond Claude. You know, when I watched it in real time, I thought it might go the other way. It's a hard call to get in that situation.
We saw it in the first half, though. This might be the method in the second half again. How do you defend your own three-point line? Just put the shooters in foul trouble for UTA.
Yeah, that would help. We have multiple guys in foul trouble for Texas Arlington. You got 2 guys in Smith and Ellingsworth with 4 and 3 others with 3. I would think that's not sustainable over the course of a game.
Wesley Yates had a terrific first 20 minutes. He picks up the personal foul here guarding the ball. His teammate St. Thomas can't believe it. Talbot to throw it in for the Mavs. This is Darius Burford. Started by Kevin Patton Jr. Troy Hupstead, one of those in foul trouble. The bobble. Boy, he got a lot of distance covered there. Without a dribble, but no whistle. We play on. Thomas with a full head of steam. Fires to the corner. Yates spins out. Talbot on the throwback.
Poke away by Yates.
He shot the gap, and he takes it himself.
Defensive spark. On a night when the Trojans have been very vulnerable at the defensive end, Yates has stood out. He should get the bucket for that play. Now he's out guarding Douglas. And left his feet.
And got him lifted and got the foul.
Wesley, I'm here saying nice things about you, son. He was in great position, just left his feet, which you don't need to do when you're 3 inches taller. But give Douglas the credit for the shot fake. They're actually talking about this in their shoot-around, JB, when we were sitting here about those shot fakes. That's where that inexperience comes into play for Yates. KT Turner has no choice but to leave Douglas in the game with 3.
Here comes Rayshawn Seamster. As a freshman, Seamster was named the JUCO D1 Freshman of the Year after scoring 15 points per game for the Fighting Gila Monsters.
Gila Monsters.
That is my favorite mascot, I think, at the JUCO.
You've been waiting all night to get that in.
No, what I've been waiting all night to get in is that the Gila Monster is the only venomous lizard in the United States.
Well, I mean, who doesn't know that? I mean, you know, Captain Obvious. If you don't know your lizards, I mean, what are you even doing?
Thomas after his own could not gather that rebound. Burford on the counter. Wells on the trail 3.
Find him.
One and done for the Mavs. Defensive rebound for Williams. Here comes Claude in transition. Patient with it. Oh, everything but the bucket for Patton. Burford and the Mavs hanging around and heading to the free throw line.
It's a straight up spread them and drive them. We talk so much about new team, 11 transfers. A lot of times we think about that at the offensive end, but it's really at the defensive end that takes the longest time to create that cohesion, because it's all about roles and communication. And I said, must have played 12 guys tonight. You know, it'd be a lot easier if you only try to play 6 or 7. And at some point, I think he's going to try to shrink his rotation. That's one of the things you want to do with these early games, is you get a look at Coach Turner. He's going through the same thing. He's got 11 transfers.
Probably the part we underrate here in November, right? The players learning the coach's system, but the coach is also learning what each individual can bring to the puzzle.
Yeah, you just don't know. There's just no substitute for game experience. You can watch them practice and scrimmage each other and go through drills all you want, but until you see them out here, you don't really know your team. And it's only the 3rd game of the season.
Much needed bucket from Desmond Claude.
see Terrence Williams get going a little bit more for SC. And a little passive tonight.
Making his regular season debut, the transfer from Michigan.
This is KT Turner's doing a really good job coaching right now because he's just spreading everything out and driving on these guys.
You called it. Williams could not deliver.
Did I say that? I like the shot, though.
Deflection from Patton and a steal. He gives it right back.
My goodness.
Seamster to Wells. He thought about it.
I'm surprised he didn't. Rare moment of hesitation. He just said, KT Turner's not happy with him. He said, my fault, I didn't shoot it. That might be the first time he's done that this season.
Well, 7 turnovers each way. The action a bit disrupted here. I think that favors the Mavs, don't you?
I do.
Seamster on the crossover.
It's not even running offense. It's spreading and driving one-on-one, looking for the mismatch and the matchup that you want, and driving to the rim.
Tied for the first time since the score was 23 up. Caught in deep, using that pivot foot, and rising for 2.
Working inside that zone. USC's got to figure out this defensive puzzle.
Brody Robinson's turn to go to work. Got it back to Wells. And now Seamster. He wants to work on Thomas. Seamster had it stripped. Oh, and what a tip. St. Thomas with the takeaway. Yates, strip going back. Wells tees up a 3 for Robinson. Brody Robinson.
We got a game here, partner. USC is coming unraveled. Some of the sloppiest turnovers that you will see. Really bad turnovers.
UTA on the high side. Musselman resisting the urge to call timeout. Will get a media stoppage next whistle.
UTA staying in that zone.
Deflected. SC will have it. But they're down 1 with 11.5 to go.
As you see, Brody Robinson and the Mavericks have taken the lead here in the Galen Center. Wesley Yates with the bad turnover leads to the easy 3 splash.
I'm your football-obsessed best man, and I think you having your big day during the big game is the worst. What, are you kidding me?
Physically, I'm right here, but mentally, I'm here. Yeah, I do. Come on, speed it up. When all eyes are on you, my eyes are glued to the game. Whoa! Touchdown, yeah. And if you didn't bundle your home and auto insurance, well, all of this could be tough to tackle. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Like me.
Man, that sandwich looks lonely, and that's sad. So let Jimmy John's fix that by adding free chips and a free drink. Turn an 8-inch sandwich or wrap into a combo for free after 2 p.m. Only at Jimmy John's.
Guys, how frustrating is it to find a great pair of jeans? Too tight here, too loose there, too long there? Standard jeans use just 2 measurements. Taylor custom jeans use 7 different measurements to give you the perfect fit. Your phone can measure you right now. Download the Taylor app on iOS or Android. Choose from hundreds of styles. Taylor measures you digitally and is 20% more accurate than a professional tailor. With free shipping and a money-back guarantee, get your new favorite pair of jeans today. Taylor, available on the Apple App Store or Android.
We see the promises you make. Doing more than your fair share. Working twice as hard. Saving lives, changing lives. And your life's work deserves nothing less than a lifetime guarantee. You made a promise. So did we. TIAA's promise of a guaranteed retirement paycheck for life is a promise that pays off.
Big news for Mahomes. I'm switching to iPhone 16, but T-Mobile, it's built for Apple Intelligence.
That's like peanut butter on jelly on gold. Get 4 iPhone 16s on us. Plus 4 lines for $25. What a deal. Y'all giving it away too fast, T-Mobile. Slow down.
Mia Tuaninga in the house at Galen Center watching the USC men's basketball team down 1 against UTA. And tomorrow we'll have a spectacular volleyball doubleheader beginning with number 2 Nebraska against 16th ranked Minnesota. Then the Trojans battle 6th ranked Wisconsin. It all starts tomorrow at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. SC coming off a 3-1 win on the road at Indiana in volleyball. Desmond Claude with possession here. His Trojans trailing for the first time. And it's early in the first half.
Well, I'm surprised that Muss hasn't tried to put those volleyball players in the game yet. As Claude didn't finish and Williams did. But USC's defense has really been lacking in the second half. UTA's 9 for 12, 4 for 5 from 3, 5 for 5 from the foul line. And that's why this is a one-point game.
Brandon Talbot on the bounce here. Guarded by Patton defensively, picks up that dribble.
Muss has also gotten away from Josh Cohen, who is having some effectiveness scoring in the paint, but was a defensive liability at times, especially when he had to close out on the smaller shooters.
Seems they're in trouble. Able to spot a shooter in the corner. Talbot comes up short. Loose ball rebound, claimed by SC. Claude will bring it. Looking to his right as Patton rinses it with the right hand. Kevin Patton Jr. making his SC debut. Robinson pulls. Wow. Brody Robinson, former JUCO All-American.
Desmond Claude got lost on the screen, couldn't fight through it in time. UTA is not going away, folks. You East Coast Big Ten fans, don't nod off yet.
And Terrence Williams is second. As we enter crunch time here, midway point first half. After a spotless first week of hoops on the home floor across the Big Ten, now some are being challenged. Saw Minnesota lose on its home floor tonight. Oregon got pushed to overtime last night in Eugene. Abo, too strong. One and done for USC as Rayshawn Seenster claims it on the defensive glass. Talbot waits for the screen from Douglas. 10 to shoot. He gets Abo on the switch. Robinson with 5. Abo still defending. Off the elbow. There's the whistle for an offensive foul.
Abo's very fortunate because he slipped and Robinson had a good look at a 3 and didn't launch it. It's Mr. Patton. Now that may have been an extra step. You want to slow that down? Let's see if we can. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Nice find by Claude as well in transition.
Nice find by this coaching staff in the transfer portal. Coming out of San Diego, an all-WCC freshman pick. Williams weaving. Hangs on the iron, pulled down by Jaden Wells, who had a massive first half.
USC not getting any extra cheese on that offensive glass.
Wells turns the corner this time. Out of control. An empty possession for the Mavs. Claude on the move. Hits the brakes. Keeps that pivot foot. Now Williams in support. Over to Thomas. SC dialing in from distance.
Yeah, they're just 2-3 happy right now, I think. Attack the rim and get to the foul line. That's what got you this lead in the first place.
Wells got the lead in the first place for UTA.
You don't want to get him going. You don't want to get him confident.
23 to lead all scorers.
USC's defense has been there for the taking all night long, chasing them little fellas around.
Ball movement around the perimeter for USC. Still can't connect.
I'm just not liking this 3-ball. I mean, I don't know if Muss wants to go back to Cohen to get something established at the rim. UCLA's body language, excuse me, USC's body language, not good right now.
Boone
Hey, Jake from State Farm. What's going on here?
Coach saves so much bundling home and auto with the personal price plan, he decided to bundle practice with ballet.
Undale. Sabe.
Doesn't that just say bundle and save?
Hey, Hutch. Less talky, more dancey. Double time. Boodle, sabe, boodle, sabe.
Bundle and save with the personal price plan.
I want to see that on game day.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Say you're looking for the perfect present. Head to the perfect place. A place with gifts that light up a face as well as a room. Where it's easy to find the brands they'll love and the advice you trust. That place isn't a warehouse store. That place is your local Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed. This Christmas, get free assembly and delivery on your new grill at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hi, folks. Joe Namath here. And if you're having a hard time hearing, call MD Hearing because they changed my life and they can change yours too. I was wearing expensive hearing aids for years until a good friend of mine told me about MD Hearing. I bought a pair of the hearing aids with no doctor visit, no prescription, and no hassle. I got fitted right over the phone, and I've never had a better pair of hearing aids. I'm even wearing them right now.
Call now and get 2 rechargeable Neo XS hearing aids for just $397 with a free charging case and free shipping. The Neo XS is our smallest hearing aid ever. It's nearly invisible, and you can get 2 Neo XS hearing aids with a 45-day risk-free trial, free shipping, and free lifetime U.S.-based support for only $397.
Call my friends at MD Hearing and get the over-the-counter hearing aids that I use for you.
Call 800-363-2689.
Basketball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Back at Galen Center in downtown Los Angeles, Seth Davis, J.B. Long, UTA with a 75-74 lead over USC.
Yeah, absolutely torching the Nets here in the Galen Center, especially in the second half for UTA, now shooting 61% from the floor in the second half, 6 for 9 from three-point range, 5 for 5, and both teams doing a really good job sharing the ball. But how about the Mavericks? They have 21 assists on 25 field goals.
Robinson brings the whistle on Wesley Yates III. Meantime, USC, they've missed 4 shots in a row. You've been critical of them getting a little bit too satisfied with the 3. They haven't scored in 2.5 minutes.
And they haven't gotten to the foul line. I mean, that was where they really buttered their bread there in the first half. In the second half, SC only 1 for 3 from the line. The Mavs are 5 for 5. And now Josh Cohen back in the game. I expect him to try to establish him at the rim offensively as UTA now gives it up.
That pass too hot for Deontay Smith to handle. He's been out of the action with foul trouble. Look at this drive. And a clever finish. Wesley Yates has been huge.
He sure has been. How about Josh Cohen getting the ball and pushing it up the court at 6'11"? That's a great weapon to have when a big can rip and run.
Trojans back in front. Robinson off balance, bailed out by the whistle.
Thought that was pretty good defense there by Yates.
The first road trip to a Big Ten campus since 2018 for the Mavericks. They actually have a recent win against the conference as they won at Ohio State in 2015.
KT Turner's really coached a masterful game tonight. Managing all that foul trouble, mixing in his zone.
It's their first road test of the year. It hasn't looked that way.
Yeah, he's kept his offense real simple, JB. Just spreading them out, getting that drive, and then moving the ball. And they've had multiple offensive contributors tonight. Jaden Wells was super hot early, but Cade Douglas really gave him a lift this second half. Ellingsworth has made some. Robinson has made a 3 here.
USC will get it back on the rebounding foul. Yeah, the Mavericks liken themselves to an analytics-driven program akin to Alabama.
More and more programs are playing that way. Talked earlier, even Illinois, Brad Underwood has really bought in to that concept.
Mentioned Deontay Smith, plagued by foul trouble tonight. His minutes have been sparse, and now he's disqualified with 5 personal fouls.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier in the game, about the attrition of those fouls and what it would mean down the stretch here. So now you lose a guy. USC finally in the bonus after getting there at the 14-minute mark of the first half. And it's not, in my opinion, JB, because UTA's defense has been so much better. I don't think USC's driven the ball as much. Josh Cohen hasn't gotten as many minutes. I talked about putting him back in. First offensive possession, you get it to him in the post, and now he's going to the line for 2. And again, it's not just about the points. Now you fouled out Smith, and you might be able to get some other guys, as this has been piling up all game long for UTA.
Cohen at the line, made 6 field goals in the first half, had 12 points. He's not picked up a hoop here in the second half. 2 points at the strike.
So this is something to watch, because big 22 for UTA, Jackson Ellingsworth, he has 4, and he's going to be the guy guarding Josh Cohen. So if you're SC on the offensive end, that's exactly where you want to go.
There's the full foul trouble story for the visitors from Arlington. Robinson over 2 trees. No whistle, no bucket.
That's the concern with going at the defensive end on the help side. Almost picked up the foul.
Thomas turns it over. 8 turnovers for USC.
Feels like more, doesn't it, though? Like I saw that at the break. It felt like they had more. Give UTA credit. They have come in here. They took a couple of body blows early on. Jaden Wells threw some haymakers, and it's been on since then.
USC's over the limit, so 1-1 now for UT Arlington.
UTA flipped that foul shooting script, didn't they? If you're USC, you want to go at Ellingsworth with those 4.
Alba, meantime, has to leave for Coach Musselman with 3 of his own.
It's also a time for USC to see who emerges as a leader. It just seems like these are kind of quiet guys. Not seeing a whole lot of communication. I'm not seeing, who's the alpha male. They're kind of trying to figure each other out. I'd like to have that one guy who's going to grab his teammates by the scruff of the neck and tell them what they don't want to hear. I was asking St. Thomas about that at shoot-around. Who's that guy? Eric Musselman wanted to bring in some nice kids, but right now we need some dogs.
I thought Josh Cohen might be that person. I know you called for him to get that next touch, but USC was in transition. They never got set up in their offense. Burford fouls here. Back to the line, Desmond Claude's turn.
Free throws are going to be huge this last 6:19. They always are in a close game.
Came in at 75%, 5 of 6 tonight. USC playing its first 6 games of the season here at Galen Center. Their first 9 will be in the state of California. They won't leave the time zone until January 8th when they head to Bloomington to face Indiana.
2 big makes there for Claude.
We've had 7 ties, 10 lead changes. 6 minutes still to come. Robinson against the 5-man. What a steal from Claude. Now with his eyes up, behind the back, gives it away. 3-on-0. Burford on a race to the rim.
Desmond Claude should get the assist for that bucket. You cannot turn the ball over. Putting the ball behind your back, trying to go 1-on-3 in a 1-point game. Cannot do it.
Cohen in the middle of the defense. Shot fake.
Right at Ellingsworth. Couldn't guard him hard.
Just what Seth Davis called for. So USC back on the high side with 5.5 to play.
Got to ride big 33 to the finish line, at least at that end of the floor.
Seamster, uncontested.
At that end of the floor, he's a bit of a liability. Nice take by Seamster. Cohen was not able to recover.
He's got 15 and puts UT Arlington back in front. They sink into their zone defensively. Claw to the perimeter. Thomas. Not this time. Wells there for the rebound. Mav sensing it a bit here, Seth.
Yeah, you see it. They got a bounce in their step. I mean, Muss wants to get out there and play.
Seamster goes to work on St. Thomas. He traveled.
Good job by Thomas to stay with him.
A dozen turnovers now for the Mavericks. St. Thomas, a graduate student from Northern Colorado, spent his first 2 seasons at Loyola Chicago. You got to tell that story about Sister Jean.
We will. I'm sure she's watching too, but you see the 2-2-1 soft pressure. Now you go right to Cohen. Turn and face, Josh.
No double there. He does it himself.
Oh, must wanted the foul, but he got the bucket.
He's matched his 19 points from the last time the Trojans were on this floor. Pulled out a win against Idaho State with a strong closing stretch. He was the driving force. Can he do it again tonight? Back-to-back travels for the Mavericks.
See you turn and face and watch Ellsworth. Once he gets there, that could have been a foul. I think DJ Carsonson, the referee, knows he's got 4. You want to whistle him with a hard one, but you don't want to leave your feet when you got 4 fouls. But nice take by Cohen, going at him again.
Out to Thomas here. Tried to thread the needle, and we'll stop it with 3:50 to go. Trading the lead deep in the night in Los Angeles. USC hoping to start 3-0. UT Arlington wants to knock off another Big Ten foe.
I didn't have to spend my life trying to find my calling. Mine found me at an early age. It was a matter of how good I could get and how far I would go.
At Ram, our calling is to build trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
Right now, during the Ram Black Friday sales event, get $4,000 cash allowance on the purchase of most 2025 Ram 1500 trucks. Hurry to your local Ram dealer today.
Marathon knows that fans are the true co-pilot of any team. Through the good and the bad, you support your team through every season. So for every grill master, all-star athlete, and face paint fixer, know that Marathon is here to keep you and your team fueled on and off the field. Wherever the game takes you, Marathon is by your side because we're driven together.
Red 25.
You're going down.
It's a hut.
Life's better when you're under our roof.
I'm open.
Go deep.
Because you'll feel totally protected.
We're number 1. Yeah.
Also, your family can pursue their dreams. Bundle life and save up to 25% on home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Mike Hall and Raphael Davis here in Chicago. We got a 1-point game. If you're the Trojans, who do you want with the ball in their hands?
Desmond Claude, he's been playing phenomenal, 18 points, 8 assists. But this is Josh Cohen's time. Get the big fella the ball inside and let the big fella eat. UT Arlington, they have no answer inside for Big Josh.
The game is done. Stay right here. Raphael and I will have full highlights and recap of this game and everything going on in the Big Ten today. But for now, got a close game. Fellas?
Thank you, Mike, and Raphael reinforcing your point, Seth.
Yeah, the Davis brothers once again in sync. And he sees what I see with Josh Cohen, but Josh Cohen's going to be problematic on the defensive end, and that's really, as far as I'm concerned, the story in the second half, and that's certainly not taken anything away from what UTA has done. I'm extremely impressed with how KT Turner has managed this game. USC is just not been effective on the defensive end, especially in the second half. The Mavericks shooting 62% now from the floor in the second half, and they are a perfect 9 for 9 from the foul line.
22 of their 27 hoops tonight have been assisted. And Jaden Wells leading the way with 23 points and the ball. Do they have a closing kick? Robinson to the baseline. Rejected. Abba went up and got it. Cohen facing up off the elbow against a smaller defender, using Thomas for a reset. St. Thomas finds the cutter. Williams in crunch time.
That's probably the best play St. Thomas has made tonight. He's really struggled. But you can see the trust that Eric Musselman has in him to put the ball in his hands.
Perfect night for Terrence Williams to put on an SC uniform and play for the first time at Galen Center. He's got 16.
This is where you begin to forge your identity if you're USC with all these new guys. And Ellingsworth answers.
With a tying 3, he's got 16. Thomas fouls. The 9th on UT Arlington, so one more, 1-1. We'll get Kevin Patton Jr. off of Eric Musselman's bench. Put him in for defensive purposes. Walk Robinson off for KT Turner as well.
That's a good offensive defensive substitution, although this is the first game that Patton's played. So that's a big spot for him to be coming into this game.
Missed front end.
He's got a much better shot to tag Ellingsworth than Cohen did.
Brody Robinson had a cut below his right knee. He had to get taped up. You can see the blue band around his right knee as he plays on, challenging the taller defender. Chibuzo Abos in disbelief that that was a defensive foul, his 4th. Stay connected to Men's Hoop on social media. Follow at B1GMBBall on X, and then follow at B1GMBB on YouTube and Instagram to give immediate access to the best highlights, features, and teams you love. So Chibuzo with 4 personal fouls, something to watch for USC, and he's closing 2:24.
You know, a lot of times being the bigger team can be a disadvantage. The way the Mavs spread things out, they are hard to guard.
Claw fouled on the floor, no shots. Second on Brody Robinson, now it's a double bonus. Desmond Claude 6 of 7 at the line tonight. He's got 18 points, 1 behind Cohen for the team lead.
Normally in games like this, the team that shoots the free throws best over the last 2 minutes wins.
Also a season-high 8 assists for Claude tonight.
Now here comes that defensive substitution, Patton for Cohen.
A little more rim protection.
Well, most importantly is he can hang with Ellingsworth on the perimeter, and Cohen has basically no chance out there. And you know, USC's got those 3 timeouts, so if they can get a stop and get the ball, Musselman can call a timeout and get Cohen back in the game for offense. But that's a hard guard for Abo on Robinson that far out.
Over to Seamster, he traveled in a big spot with 2:01 remaining in a tie game.
Now Cohen's going to come back in. You don't have to burn a timeout. Rayfeld Davis said go to Cohen. I do what he says, gentlemen. Ellingsworth's done a nice job to be able to play defense without fouling out. He's got 4.
Mavs continue to guard it with zone. Cohen on the flash to the foul line.
He's got his mind made up. He got time.
12 to shoot for Claude. In and out dribble. Down the right lane line. And he finishes.
Fantastic. Ellingsworth had to follow Cohen up into the middle of the zone, and Claude was able to sneak on by.
22 to lead the Trojans. They're back in front.
Closeout time.
As the Trojans dig in, here's Jaden Wells. 2 foul shots coming.
Yeah, this is you know, I'm kind of wondering what Desmond Claude did here. Looked like it could have gone on Wells, could have gone on nobody. both of those probably would have been better calls than on Claude.
Wells has made 7 threes tonight, but these are his first foul shots.
So you see Wells, he's the one, he reaches out and grabs his arm and throws his head back. The official Dan Wynn fell for it.
Both free throws for Wells and a timeout for UT Arlington and head coach KT Turner. 75 seconds remaining in regulation, 90 apiece in LA.
Accidents happen everywhere and every day. Sweep it up the easy way with the Helio Air Broom, the lightweight, flexible broom that's sweeping the nation. In one pass, it gets it all. Watch. Ordinary brooms only get half the mess, but Air Broom's UltraFlex blade is specially designed to lift and grip and leave nothing behind. And for anything that hits the floor, it's a one-stop shop with the Helio dustpan. For pets, it's the best. It easily removes pet hair on all floors. The Helio Air Broom gets the big stuff, yet precise enough for the finest dust. Use it wet or dry. Clean spilled milk and cereal, and an impossible to clean broken egg. Plus, it rinses clean every time. For hard surfaces like tile, it's the best. If you've got expensive hardwood floors, the Helio Air Broom is guaranteed to sweep without scratching. Plus, it gets into corners quick and easy. Use it in the bathroom. It'll sweep up hair, nail clippings, and floss. And with its telescopic handle, it becomes a squeegee too. Air Broom's sleek and slim, so you can store it anywhere. Watch. Helio's specially designed lift and grip UltraFlex blade effortlessly removes dust and hair on carpet, keeping your home mess-free. You'll love Helio or your money back guaranteed. So get your ultra lightweight Helio Air Broom at helioairbroom.com for just $29.99 or call 1-800-296-7839 now. Order today and we'll include our Helio dustpan absolutely free. We'll also throw in the Helio Mini, yours free too. Use the Helio Mini on your couch or furniture to clean fur quick and easy. And for the car, watch as Helio Mini cleans fur trapped in your car's carpet better than a vacuum. That's right, you can get the Helio Air Broom plus the Helio dustpan and the Helio Mini. A $60 value for only $29.99. So order now.
UT Arlington and USC tied for the 10th time tonight. The lead has changed hands on 16 occasions. The Trojans have led by as many as a dozen. UTA's largest lead, only 2 points. As you look at the leading scores for USC, who do they turn to with 75 seconds remaining?
Well, I've probably been a little tougher on Desmond Claude tonight than I needed to be. He does have 22 points and 8 assists. Josh Cohen is going to be your best mismatch on the interior, and those are your two guys. Chibuzo Agbo's 1 for 7. Terrence Williams, this is his first game back. He's got 16, which is pretty good coming off those back spasms. I'm sure he's not in the type of game condition that he wants, but Eric Musselman put the ball in the hands with Desmond Claude. Two-man game with Cohen and take it home.
Off the crossover. Oh, and a subtle screen from Cohen there to get him all the way home. He's got 24.
Fantastic steal by Josh Cohen and the recognition from Claude. Great two-man game.
Rayshawn Seamster against Cohen defensively. Lost his balance. The extra step. They'll wipe it away. USC gets the stop.
Clearly a walk, the disruption on the post. USC hasn't had a lot of good stops tonight, but that was a big one.
Now the Mavs will press. USC has 3 timeouts, and they'll use one with 41.2 to go. And they'll be home Sunday against Cal, another good test on Big Ten Network. The Golden Bears lost on the road at Vanderbilt tonight.
A lot of similarities to USC's last game against Idaho State. Took them to the last minute to be able to finish that one off as well. Nothing's going to come easy for these Trojans this year. Year one of Eric Musselman. They've stayed together.
All right, with Seth Davis, JB, along with you courtside here at Galen Center. To that point, these are the type of iron-forging moments, though, that I'm sure Eric Musselman will be glad for in retrospect when league play arrives.
Yeah, I think he'll be happier after the game. It's not a lot of fun being a coach with this many new players. But look, everybody is discovering everything about each other, and you cannot substitute this situation to be able to learn from each other, learn who your leaders are. And you saw when it came down to crunch time, Desmond Claude and Josh Cohen were the two guys. And it's going to be different every game. Now, Claude's the point guard, so more often than not, it's going to be him. Tonight, St. Thomas has been quiet. Chibuzo Ogbo's been quiet, so you can see Musselman feeling out the game as it's gone on. But this is how it's going to be for USC this season. There's not going to be any easy wins, and you just got to try to get the W and get out of here.
Even though they're new, they are experienced, the most experienced Power 5 team in college hoops based on minutes played per game last season at different institutions. So battle tested, just not in this system. And they've got a real test from KC Turner and company, who are picked to challenge Grand Canyon once again in the WAC this year.
Well, UTA is going to be a big-time factor in the WAC for sure. They lost in the championship game last year. Very critical for SC to get this ball in bounds.
Double bonus situation, 2 foul shots on any foul given. Thomas collects the inbound, gives it back to Williams. Terrence Williams, the second, dribbles into the front court, back to Thomas.
Nice job against the press there. Really good composure. And now UTA going into that man-to-man, which they really haven't played most of this game because of that foul trouble.
Claude for a 2-possession lead.
Bucket, winning time.
Musselman saying no foul. Douglas drives, kick to the corner, 3 on the way. Mavs not done yet. Jackson Ellingsworth.
Josh Cohen got there late. Big-time bucket by Ellingsworth. What a game he's had. What a night at the Galen Center, my goodness.
18 of Claude's 26 have come in this half set.
Desmond Claude has really risen to the occasion. He's learning to play a new position in real time. And then at the other end, Ellingsworth, as Josh Cohen had to pinch inside the lane to help, the find and the swish. Ellingsworth has had himself a night.
His team 8 of 11 since the half from behind the arc. How often do you see teams challenge and then fade? Not these Mavs.
No, they've showed a lot of fight tonight.
All right, upcoming for USC, hoping to get to 3-0 before they take on Cal, San Jose State, and Grambling. St. Mary's, and then either ASU or New Mexico. We played in the desert, part of the Acrisure Classic. Again, they don't leave the time zone until the second week of January in conference play.
We have to remind ourselves that the game with Cal is in a non-conference game. Cal now in the ACC, of course. So for USC right now, it all comes down to getting this ball in bounds. It sounds like a simple thing, but you're going up against a shorter, quicker, scrappy team.
I like this. The teams have shot well, converted well in crunch time for a game that's piled up a lot of fouls. It's not been exclusively decided at the line.
For sure. So you're going to have Terrence Williams inbounding the ball, and Robinson out here at half court guarding Desmond Claude. So Claude is the guy you want the ball to end up in.
Williams running that baseline. Thomas gives it back. Nearly intercepted. He breaks away from trouble, and the foul is given with 7.2.
Very well executed by USC.
Burford seconds.
So now we're getting into a situation where Williams knocks down both of these. Now puts USC up 3.
And ask yourself the question.
I'm no question. I'm a foul of 3 guy, but you want to try to get it under 5 seconds if you can. But first, you got to make them both.
First free throws of the night for Williams.
This is where it helps to have older players, too. You're looking at Terrence Williams, played 4 years at Michigan. So I feel like if you're USC, if he makes this, you can put some soft pressure without going for any steals. Let a couple of seconds tick off the clock and then foul. But of course, you don't want to foul and let the Mavericks act like they're shooting. But first he's got to make the free throw.
He does. It's a double bonus situation. USC has a chance to foul up 3.
See how they play it. Against this team, I think foul up 3 is what you got to do, but you got to wait for a couple seconds to tick.
Wells still has a timeout to utilize.
Not going to do it.
With 2, he turns the corner, flips it up and in. 0.8 left.
I don't know why you would shoot 2. I mean, that's just a bad decision. There's still time on the clock. There's still time on the clock. This game is not over. But Wells did not make a good decision there. I probably thought he had more time than he did. Interesting that USC did not try to foul up 3. Clearly there's going to be time on the clock.
Once again, Jeffrey Anderson, DJ Karstensen, and Daniel Nguyen, our crew tonight in LA. So the clock up above the backboard, you see read 0.8 when the ball went through the nets. And then they inbound, and we get back up, and the red light is on, and the clock has expired when Seamster's giving that foul. Being told that when the foul happens, there is still time on the clock. You can see those fractions draining. It's just a matter of which one they're going to replace. .6 appears to be the answer.
Right.
So they put the foul on Seamster. 0.6 on the clock. USC will shoot 2.
And one thing that's critical is at 0.3 or less, you cannot possess the ball. So UTA will have just enough time to catch and shoot if they need to inbound it. I think this is a situation where you miss on purpose.
I was just about to ask.
No, I think you got to miss this on purpose for sure, which, by the way, is not easy to do. It's one of the reasons why I like fouling up 3, because it is hard to intentionally miss a free throw. I mean, it's obviously not a likely scenario, but I think you're better off missing on purpose, because then as soon as somebody touches the ball, the game is over.
St. Thomas's first foul shots, his first points of the second half. And now that final timeout from the visitors, who won at Ohio State back in 2015, trying to do it again here at Galen Center. Can they force overtime? Their first road test of the season, 1-1 so far out of the WAC. Takes second in that conference this year with Grand Canyon, again the favorite. Meantime, USC picked 14th in a big-time Big Ten. Can you get Wells a look here, Seth?
Well, you could try. You may want to use him as a decoy. I mean, you've got a couple of guys out there, and Ellingsworth and Robinson in particular, who can make threes.
Wells has 27 points, 7 of 10 from behind the arc.
Going to put Patton on the ball. Ellingsworth is going to throw it in bounds.
And as you pointed out, 0.6, you can catch and shoot off the arm of Ellingsworth.
He can run the baseline, too.
6'8", Kevin Patton Jr. in his face. Here it comes from the lefty. Untouched.
Now SC will get the ball back down here. By the way, in that situation, I have to say, I'm not crazy about putting a defender on the inbounds passer, because you can run the baseline. I think you're better off playing 5-on-4 in the backcourt, but looks like it's going to be a moot point, and I'll tell you what. You're Eric Musselman, like they say in golf. The scorecard doesn't talk back. A win is a win is a win. And USC was absolutely tested tonight, and they passed the test.
A game that featured 10 ties and 16 lead changes. Desmond Claude guides it to the finish line with help from Terrence Williams, the Michigan transfer. And Claude scored 18 of his 26 in the second half, went 7 of 8 from the floor when his team absolutely had to have it. Another good night in the post for Josh Cohen. He helped them, didn't he, in that second half? Right when UT Arlington had rallied again, Cohen finishes with 19 points in back-to-back games, 8 of 10 his performance tonight.